Greek businessman Adam Catszevelos argued that he should be prosecuted in Greece rather than in South Africa. He made headlines after a video of him using a racial slur on a beach in Greece went viral in South Africa. Now, the EFF has laid criminal injury charges and the case has gone to the court. Catszevelos is arguing that because the actual incident took place in Greece, it is where it should be charged. Meanwhile, the EFF is arguing that the harm and damage caused by the video happened here in South Africa. Well, with me in studio to have this discussion is immigration lawyer Ashraf Essop to talk about the complications that arise when a person has dual citizenship and how the law works when it comes to prosecuting them in the country where they have permanent residence. Very good morning to you and thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning and thank you for having me.
I mean, let's first take a look at the issue of jurisdiction and how this case has really tested, our laws and the kind of precedents that it will set for cases in the future when it comes to cross-border cases, especially those that happen over the internet.
Yes. Well, I think the Criminal Procedure Act, Section 110, capital A, sub 1, makes it very clear that a South African court has got jurisdiction to try an offence that was committed abroad. So the process for that to happen would be an application can be made by the National Prosecuting Authority to try the accused if he's been charged or the suspect if he hasn't been charged within the jurisdiction of the South African courts. And the Act is very clear. It says that notwithstanding any other law, a South African citizen who commits an offence outside the area of jurisdiction of the courts in the Republic. So all courts in the Republic have got jurisdiction if you're within the Republic. And the reason for jurisdiction or the reasoning behind jurisdiction is that the court must be able to give an effective remedy. So this is now in respect of the criminal case. The Equality Court has already made a finding. So this is in respect of the criminal jurisdiction. And B, the NPA instructs that the prosecution be instituted against that person. So those are the true provisos. So in my mind, it's very clear that the South African courts have jurisdiction to try this. And in the opposite, if the suspect says, but I want to be tried in Greece, where it's not an offence, that is not sufficient to... The state is the party. That's why it's always state versus somebody else, or the Queen versus somebody else. So the state decides where and when to prosecute. It's not up to the accused or the suspect to say, I want to be tried elsewhere. So there are other examples of people that might have left the Republic, but they are still citizens of the Republic, and the man tried in South Africa for a crime committed there, but this court had jurisdiction over his person. Remember, we spoke about effective jurisdiction or effective judgment. So the judgment is only effective if you're within the borders of the Republic. Now, you raised the question of dual citizenship as well.
Yes.
That doesn't really affect, well, look, I just gave an example of Henry Okau. Might not have been a citizen, but he was within the borders of the Republic seeking asylum. And it was found that he had participated in a terror act. So the law extends even to non-citizens. Remember, the Constitution says it applies to everybody within the borders of the Republic. Now, with regard to citizenship, one has to be very careful. You could find that you've actually lost citizenship in the following circumstances. The Citizenship Act says if an adult, apart from a married woman, by a voluntary act acquires the citizenship of another country, so you first have to be a South African citizen, then you're acquiring the citizenship of another country, without first making application to retain South African citizenship and obtaining that in writing, you automatically lose your South African citizenship. But as we said, that is not a defense.
Yeah, and just quickly, because we are running out of time, I know the Greek authorities have now sent, well, they earlier sent a letter to Adam Catszevelos, and in that letter they speak about how this video was posted as well on YouTube, and it is accessible on Greek territory. So I just want to know from you, looking at everything that's been said from, the Greek authorities' side, is there a prospect for a successful prosecution in Greece?
Well, that'll be up to the Greek authorities and how their laws operate. But we shouldn't be fooled by this thing called double jeopardy. There is no such thing as double jeopardy. if you tried in South Africa and you found guilty here, then it could well be that you spend the rest of your sentence back in a Greek court, and that's a Greek jail. And that's not really a novel idea. It has been in existence for a long time. So even if it's not within their jurisdiction, and they could be right, because with the internet now, many countries could find jurisdiction all over. Like I've just given an example of terrorism or the international criminal courts, etc., which will all find universal jurisdiction. So I don't think it'll be enough for us. In fact, we can't really guess what the Greeks will be doing with the matter.
All right. Well, thank you so much for that. That's our guest, Ashraf Essop, an immigration authority, speaking to us about the Adam Catszevelos case and whether or not a person with dual citizenship can be prosecuted. Well, let's take a look at other news now.